find a restaurant that serves great food and has great service, you want to tell all of your friends so they can enjoy the experience as you have. But then you eat at that place, it's like, we'll never come in here again. We spread the news there as well, don't we? Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 3, the Torah portion, Emor. Yesterday, we kind of left off a little bit with the idea of the table of showbread and the bread that was being put there by the priesthood. So let's go back to Leviticus, Vayikra, chapter number 21, and let's read that verse again that says in verse 6, they are set apart, that is the leadership, the priesthood. They are set apart to their Elohim and do not profane the name of their Elohim, for they bring the fire offerings of Yahweh and the bread of their Elohim and shall be set apart. We went yesterday to 1 Corinthians chapter number 10, and we ended up with these verses. Let's read verse 20 and 21 again. No, but what the nations slaughter, they slaughter to demons and not to Elohim. And I do not wish you to become sharers with demons. You're not able to drink the cup of the master and the cup of demons. You're not able to partake of the table of the master and of the table of the demons. We're talking in specifics here about the 12 loaves of bread that are placed upon the table of showbread, or the bread of faces, or the bread of surfaces is another, maybe even better translation. Lachem hapanim in Hebrew. And the idea is that this bread of surfaces, representing the word of Yah, is placed there in 2 stacks of 6. It is a corporate cooperation of the 12 tribes being together. The surfaces here allows us to understand that there are, maybe a way to say it is, there are lumps and bumps to the word. There are surfaces, there are places where the teaching is smooth, and then there's those places that it rises up and it causes a bit of notice. It stands out to you. You feel it. You can feel the touch of it. The word raises issues. The word raises up the surface so that something catches. And it catches on us, and that's intentional. When we talk about the difference between the bread of the master's table and the bread that belongs to the table of demons, Rav Shaul here is writing about the issue of eating meat from the marketplaces, where it was common that meat would be offered to a demon idol and then be brought to the marketplace that it could be sold publicly. Maybe not all meat, and he said, if you don't know, you don't know. But if you know, if you're absolutely certain that it has been offered to a demon, don't eat it for 2 reasons. One, for your own conscience sake, and the other is you don't want to cause someone else that would have a problem with it, that they would stumble because you're eating that. And so you can get real sticky here, especially in our day where there is foods that are called halal, that from our understanding, I'm not a practitioner of Islam and really don't know anyone who is personally. My understanding is that that which is halal is that which has been honorably given over to their God, and then it's sold in the marketplace. Now, is that true or not? I'm not involved in the processes. I know what I read on the internet. And of course, we all know that everything on the internet is true. So we'll just leave that part there. But here's the principle. You don't have to get into foods that concerned with Islamic food prep to deal with this. There are things that we know that are honorable and just and true. They are righteous, and they are worthy of the master's table, and we can freely eat of that. It's clean, it's admissible, we can partake and be safe. There are things over the years and generations that we just know. There's questions about that. That which belongs on the master's table must be set apart. It cannot be common. There are things that are common that may be permissible. In the realm of the common, however, there are things that we know are not permissible. And I'll give you an example. Let's talk about music. It used to be when I was a teenager that if it wasn't Southern gospel Christian music, then it probably was sinful, probably. Anything then on popular radio, the current music trends of that day, that's all devil music. It's just all devil music. It was really funny. They would preach about rock music being played on the radio, but they rarely said anything about country. You listen to some of the old classic country, Cry in Your Beer stuff, and He Stopped Loving Her Today. There's some old classic songs, and they're all about broken relationships and getting drunk to deal with it in a lot of ways. There is music that is righteous, that is good, that can be used to worship, and it's permissible. There is music that is obviously dark, depressing. You can even say in some places demonic, and we stay away from that. In the middle is a lot of common music. It may be patriotic, it may be symphony orchestra music, it may be, country or popular music, whatever. It's common. Is it sinful? Not directly. You can listen to it for a little bit. There are times that the Ruach says to me, turn it off, you've had enough. Sometimes that's a few hours, sometimes it's 5 seconds, turn that off. And you have to be willing to listen to the Ruach to show you what is acceptable and what is not. The further you go in your set apartness to Him, the more you're going to desire that which belongs to His table. And that even that is which is common, while it's not sinful per se, it loses its draw to you and it loses its allure. You have to be willing to make that step. Again, we're not dealing with sin. We're talking about the differentiating between what is common and what is set apart. And so when we bring things to Yah's table, let's keep this principle in mind. The word in Hebrew, lechem, referencing bread, it is a lamed, it is a chet, and it is a final mem. The lamed is it's a shepherd, it's a teacher, it's the idea of learning. A chet is a fence which divides one side from the other, and a mem references waters. As a final mem, it is said to reference the deeper waters. Lechem, partaking of the bread that belongs to Yah, then is the process of learning to divide the deeper waters. That is, the waters that are above, which is the Shekinah, the glory, the manifestation of Yah's light in the heavenlies, and that which is manifested here below. The goal is to align the two, the waters above with the waters below, so then that they flow together. And that the presence of Yah is not only manifested in the heavenlies, as we know it is, but also here on the earth. How do we do that? By partaking of the Master's bread, eating at His table, building the relationship as His children, focusing on being His family. The priestly family had a lot of restrictions, but it was because of where they walked and the near proximity that they had to the Most High. Let's keep that in mind and eat this bread, eat this word, so that we can learn to divide the waters from the waters, discerning them, that they may become one again in our day. We'll talk further on these things tomorrow, and until then, shalom.